Hello. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Sad Artist Live. I've been taking some advice. Apparently, I'm too low energy for television. Who knew? So I've got to be more hyperactive or something. So I'm going to do my best. Apparently, everybody's so high energy on television and YouTube and stuff, and presenters are such high energy stuff that it makes me look lethargic, and because I'm normal. Normalish. Okay, so today what I'm going to be doing is some art. Somehow I'm going to be doing some art. So I'm going to do some epoxy resining, which you probably have seen me do before. Yes, I've got a tutorial on epoxy resining. So if you want to know how to epoxy resin, follow the tutorial. Go on the Sad Artist and look for it. Bit of a cold, so that's one thing. I'd just like to say, well, I'll tell you a bit about what's been going on. So last week I put out or earlier this week, I put out a tutorial on facing the fear of a blank canvas. That's when you've got a blank canvas and it terrifies you because you don't want to do anything to it. So watch that if you've not watched it. It's fantastic. And that was in response to a request from one of my viewers, Fran, who wanted to know how you overcome that fear. Well, I've got an innovative way of overcoming that fear, so I hope you like it. Also, special thanks to the people that have donated via my website, which is markedmondsart.com. And they're donating towards the Sad Artist show, which I'm going to put on in London, hopefully later this year. I've got my scouts out looking for a place to do that show. And people that come along on the journey with me, Sad Artist fans, will be invited to join the show. So subscribe and make your comments and endear yourself to me, and we'll all do a show in London together, and it's going to be brilliant. Sounded a bit like Donald Trump there. Yes, folks, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best show ever. It's going to be a great show. The show is going to be so good that you'll just love it. So, well, essentially, if you've never been in an art show before, this is a great time to try something new. So get your canvas, get your paintbrush, get your paper, get your pencils, get your sewing kit, do something creative, engage, write some comments, and I'll get back to you. Show me some of your work. I don't know how you do that, but yeah, that's probably, yeah, email me. So go on my website and email me some stuff. So that's markedmondsart.com. Contact me if you're into the Sad Artist and show me some of your work. I'll give you some feedback. It's going to be fantastic. Yeah, sorry, I'm new to this community thing. I've never really engaged with it. Not quite sure what I'm doing, so that's good. We're all learning together. Great. So, what am I going to do today? Well, I've got these little bits of resin that are quite cool. Now, basically, they fell onto my drying rack and turned into plastic, and then I just peeled them off. And I think I might incorporate these into some pictures. So in order to do that, I'm going to need to trap them in epoxy. So let's get epoxy. Right. Okay, so if you're going to epoxy, probably a good idea to wear some protective gear. Ideally, you want to wear a mask Well, I don't really epoxy enough to make it an issue. I've got extraction, which I'll turn on after the show. And I'm not going to be doing lots of resining. So I've got my gloves on. I'm going to need a little tub to mix them in. So tonight is the hand-in date for another show, the Blue Show, which is coming up. So this is a collaboration I did with my friend, and that's going to go in there. She did the photograph, and I did the frame. So it's going to be very blue, like the famous stone of Galveston. Right. So, like I always say, if in doubt, cover it in Hammerite. So there we are. Bit of a catalyst there. I've got some base here. Now, remember with epoxy resin, you want to use exact measurements, unless you're me, in which case I just wing it. So it's roughly about 2 parts of this to 1 part of that. So I'm using the last of my last lot of epoxy resin. Okay. Exciting stuff, eh? Well, it is a live show. All right, so 1 part of this. There we go, that's roughly 1 part of that. And now we stir in. This is the most exciting bit of the show. I'm stirring plastic together. So, don't have any live viewers at the moment. I'm assuming it's because it's Monday night. Well, I was going to do a live show last night, but then didn't. Oh yeah, that's right. I put the tutorial on last night. That's why. Didn't want to release 2 things at the same time. Yeah. So as ever, the point to the sad artist is to get normal people out there doing something creative. So if you think epoxy resin's a bit advanced, acrylic and painting mediums looks great. It's just obviously you're limited as to what you can go over. Oh, we're going to have some fire in a minute, because obviously I'm going to have to blowtorch this. I've just realised, working on plastic. Don't want to melt it. Right, so there's lots of bubbles in it now. That's always exciting. I'm not going to let this episode drag for too long because I don't think the long, like hour-long episodes have been too popular. So I aim for about 20 minutes to half an hour. But mind you, it's been 10 minutes and we've not really done much, have we? So probably 20 minutes to half an hour starting from now, I'd say. Okay. Yeah, I've been told off recently for not doing enough of a Bob Ross impression, because obviously Sad Artist is like a parody of Bob Ross, who's the happy artist. Obviously I must have done that subconsciously because I didn't realize that when we started. Okay. Not sure about this. Not sure I've got enough catalyst in this. Try and get a bit more out. Nope, I think that's pretty much gone. This is presumably why you should use correct measuring things. Oh well, sometimes I have got the mix wrong and it's not been too detrimental. So as long as it dries, it's kind of okay. I think it's just has a tendency to be a bit bubbly. Bubbly. Oh, I forgot to put an apron on. So this has got to be exciting so far. 10 minutes of me chatting and stirring plastic. Let's see what we're going to work on. Okay, you'll remember this painting if you're a fan. It was one I was working on a while ago and I decided to rework it because I didn't like it. So I'm probably going to have some blue up here. You know what, I'll probably move it to here while I blowtorch it so it doesn't set me on fire. All right. You know what, I'm actually starting to get a bit warm. You'll notice I've lost weight. Yeah, so some of my fans have expressed concern that the jumper makes me look a bit fat, so I'm going to use that. Ooh. Flabby. Well, there we go. I'm getting there, aren't I? So, yeah, this week on Wednesday, with a friend of mine, I walked up a mountain. It's not the kind of mountain you probably should walk up. In fact, we were passing people with climbing gear and some interesting stuff, and we were just in boots, and I was in like an evening jacket, so it was commented on. Yeah, so if you're going to go climbing, always a good idea to take sensible precautions. But if you're me, then I'm an idiot. So here I am working without safety equipment. Now, I've not even got gloves on now. If you get this stuff on you, it can burn you, cause irritation. So be careful with that. Right, so my tint is, I'm going to make purple. So here we go. I've got some blue and some red. I'm kind of running out of blue tint, so I'm probably going to have to get some more. Now, this resin is from Echem Resins. Well, I get my resin from a place in Stoke now. So I'm not sure, the tints do work with the other type of epoxy. I'm not sure how much is required. So these are acrylic tints. So I'll put a bit of blue in there. Tiny bit of pinky red. Let's see what we can get color-wise. Well, this is actually an interesting thing. So you see all the colors when I mix up. I'm just going to pull the lid down a bit so you can enjoy this. Yeah, when somebody actually gets around to watching it. It's quite cool, isn't it? So obviously I've only put a little bit of tint in. So, because I want it to be slightly translucent. I may put a bit more in a minute. Just keep working it around till all the strands become their own thing. So that's still quite blue. So I'm probably just going to add a bit more pinky red to it. We'll put it off camera. Always smart. Comments, please, when somebody finally gets around to watching this. Am I upbeat enough? Am I entertaining you with my upbeatness? So another thing is apparently my intros are too long. So I'm going to address that issue as well. So basically, I've just got to get a bit of energy through. I think tone of voice is probably a bit of a thing. What do we think there? How's that looking? Still a bit blue, isn't it? I don't know, because when you spread it out, it might go more purple. Do we see? Still too blue, because that blue pigment is very strong. Whereas the pinky tint is not. I've done this before on another painting, and I got quite good results. I'm a fan of purple. I really like it. I'm doing the Neanderthal, leaning on the desk with my fist. Okay, that's definitely got a purple tinge to it. I'm not sure it's deep purple. Down, 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 down. That's a terrible joke. I appreciate that. So, okay. All right, time for some epoxy. And you know what? I'm going to trap some of that, the previously cured epoxy in there because I quite like it. So I've got these cool little shapes. I trap these up here. See what happens. Okay, so I'm doing all this on a plastic sheet, which I can then fold back, so I can do some work on some other stuff later. Oh, yeah, so good news. Hopefully, I'm going to be, just move that up a bit so you can see my face. Hopefully, I'm going to be launching my online shop soon. Again, that's at markedmondsart.com. So I'm hoping to do that by the end of the week. So you check that out and tell me what you think. Yeah, not quite sure about delivery costs just yet though, so I'm gonna have to research that. Okay, this isn't very purple, it's a bit blue actually, but I might add some tint to the actual painting itself as I'm working. But it's quite difficult to get a subtle tint with epoxy resin. So you have to be very careful. Only use it very sparingly. Use the tints very sparingly to get a subtle effect. So there we go. Just in that corner there, it's quite blue. Like it that way. So I'm just going to move this to over here because I'm going to have to flamethrower that in a bit. Not quite just yet. So here's a small piece I want to work on. And I'm just going to trap that in there. Oh, actually, yeah, you know, I said I'd put some purpley tint in this, didn't I? I said I'd put some pinky tint in this. So I'm going to do that right now. Just move that out of the way a sec. Let's see what we get. This is either going to look awesome or terrible. If I can get enough in the dropper. So I've done those little spots there. So I don't know if you can see them very well. Done those little spots there. So they're starting to sort of meld into the blue. So that should create quite a nice, interesting effect. We'll see what happens with that. As the blue moves around, I'm going to add a tiny bit more to this. Yeah, I think I need to get some more of this tint as well. My two favorite tints. Because I find blue pigment is quite heavy. So when you're making washes with it, because my other type of resining is wash based, the blue tints tend to be much heavier and they granulate, which means that you basically get little blobs in all your interstices on your canvas. Interstice, word of the day. So let's have a bit on here, see what's going on. You can see that all right. It's going to drip off a little bit around the edges. Actually, I might put a little painting underneath it to catch it, so as not to waste it. These little books here. Put a bit on them because they're quite cool. Just a little bit. See, multitasking as it were, or multifunctioning. Yeah, let's go for bright. Let's do a few. Quite like these, it's quite interesting. Yeah, it's quite a cool effect, I quite like it. These are more sort of collectible things that I make. Oh, so I put all the stuff I've done, I'm going to put here, so I know what I've worked on in advance. Yeah, this one was kind of, it's one of those little ones that goes well sometimes and then it goes poorly, and we shall see. It's quite therapeutic. Just take a little bit of resin and move it around. It's a lot of fun. You can see there. Quite like that little blob at the bottom, so hopefully, because that's on a canvas, it'll sink in. Work on a bigger piece now. Okay, just drop a bit on that. Might put a bit of pink on this as well. And just work it in. So you can add the tint on top of what you're doing at the time. Work it in, you get some quite interesting effects, like a sort of a lacing effect. It's one way of getting a lacing effect. So this is basically an image of a flower I've been working on for some time. I'm not really working from direct observation. So there we go, that's got quite a nice effect there. It'll be interesting to see how that turns out. We're going to want a bit of purple on here. Might even go for a bit more lacing on this as well. Eventually. So I'm just trying to reveal some of the hidden layers in the texture in the painting while I'm doing this. Just any sort of place I feel like it might benefit from that sort of thing. Basically any place I don't like the look of already, keep working into. Yeah, I'll probably definitely go for some lacing type effect around here. Okay, it's quite interesting. Hope you can see that okay. Okay, I'm going to work this in a little bit now. Nice sort of purpley translucent sludge. It's quite cool because this sort of effect adds quite a nice complicated feel to the marks on the picture. So you can really see how many layers and things go into my work. Yeah, I'll talk about feelings a bit. So I'm feeling pretty good today. Quite balanced. So an even-handed approach to painting today. You know, which is, I think sometimes being an artist, it does help to be a little bit emotionally unstable. Because if you're too balanced all the time, you don't create anything crazy. I don't think. Well, I don't know. That's my theory anyway. So, right, well, we're up to half an hour. So clearly, Monday night is not the night to stream live, as nobody's joined me. I'm still learning, so I presume there's something I should do something like, I don't know, advertise or something. I'm not quite sure. I'll speak to Mel, the terrain tutor, who's got a place upstairs. And he's been giving me advice on doing live stuff. So I'm trying to put that to good use because he obviously knows what he's on about, because he's got many fans and many supporters. So hopefully we'll get a nice balance, because I want to make a quality content show, really. So I want people to actually look forward to me coming on. Turn it off now. And making terrible jokes. And mostly doing some painting, because I likes painting. I likes it, I does. Oh, that's so cool. Look at the effect when it goes over there. See it? I can just see it in that corner. That's really cool. So reveals all the hidden layers underneath. Okay, so that's a bit of that. Just there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put some in this corner as well. Because with it being quite a lightly tinted resin mix, it doesn't blot out what's underneath, it just reveals the layers to it, which is very cool. I like this one. It's a little piece I've been working on, but I'm enjoying it. Okay, and while I'm here, I may as well tip a load of resin onto this. I was thinking purple when I mixed it up. So I had some purple on here the other day. Let's have a bit more. It's quite versatile, epoxy, because you can sort of paint with it as well as make marks with it, as well as use it to just blot stuff out. So the little thing I like to do is create a diagonal symmetry of colour. So I tend to, whatever colour I tend to put in one corner, I tend to put in the other. The corresponding corner, shall we say. So that'd be quite interesting. See what happens with that. So yeah. Well, there we go. Oh, I was going to kill it short then. And one thing I've got to do first. Fire. So this is my creme brulee torch. Which doesn't seem to be working very well. Yay! I think the elements got a bit dusty. So basically you just have to go over the top, hopefully not melting any plastic in the process. And what this does is it pops all the little bubbles, you see. So you can usually see the bubbles when you look. Doesn't necessarily cure the resin any faster, but it's probably the sort of thing to do. Okay, so this can go on the drying rack now. But it's been flamethrowed. Just gonna make sure I've got space on the drying rack. Oh, this is creating quite an interesting effect here. Look at this. Look at all this granulation. Oh, I'll just angle the camera down so you can see. See that? That's such a lovely texture. Very nice. Just what the doctor ordered. Texture. Okay, I'm going to set this on fire. So I guess tonight's live sad artist is what you would call a resin special. So I'll put that in the tagline. So people who want a resin can figure it out. I think plastic resin it's a very underutilized thing because there's a snobbery in art about resin. I've heard it said by people going to top universities, "Oh, we don't do resin here at this university." Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's a good medium. I mean, if you like painting and you want to trap something in plastic, why the hell would you not use embedding resin? You know, got Terry Shave down the corridor. I might do an interview with Terry Shave actually. He's a resin artist. He's different to me though. He's been doing it a lot longer, and obviously plastics were different when he started. So he uses an embedding resin technique. I think he uses polyester resin. Very cool though. Stuff looks like tiles. It's kind of like got sort of elements of photography in, but you can't quite tell what the pictures of. It's really cool. Yeah, I'll do an interview with him actually. I'll ask him if he wants to do it first. Obviously, he might tell me to jog on, which does occasionally happen. Well, actually, it's not happened yet, so it should be okay. Meanwhile, I keep setting things on fire. Hopefully not myself. Yeah, the element's not great. I might start writing reviews for creme brulee later, which is... Get those bubbles popped. Yeah, making a noise like there's no gas in it. Apparently there is. Well, I know there is because it's cold. Right, move this somewhere. So see these? I'm going to be working on metal plates later. Start some pictures. I'll show you these next time when I've been working on them. So the idea is that I'm going to hang them in the forest and they rust, so that you've always got a reason to come back and look at the picture as it changes. So that'd be quite interesting. So put them down there for later. Yeah, fire is fun, isn't it? So the flame. So you might want to see the bubbles pop, and if you can see that. Hopefully this picture is actually turning into one I like. Oh, seriously? No. Apparently you can use a lot of gas quite quick. Oh, just 1 minute. There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. I might go. Yeah, do you want to be on TV? I'm doing a lifestyle artist.
Hey.
It's Mike. So, you might remember Mike from almost every sad artist video that I ever do.
Yeah, you can remember me from everything that you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've actually got a new sad artist episode coming up soon. Mike's in that as well. So yeah, I can't remember what it was about. I just sent it to Jacob to be edited, and then
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not very popular tonight though because I don't know, it's Monday or something. So
what are you up to?
I've just been epoxy resining, so I've got a feeling this might have quite a lot of people want to watch this back because people want to see how you epoxy resin.
Cool. I was just going to ask you for a cup of tea.
Yeah. Well, I'm about to finish because I don't want to drag the episode on too long. So,
Well, bye.
Bye, Mike. Yay! It's like TV when I was a kid. There's always someone at the knock at the door. Who could that be? It's usually Mike. He's the only person who likes me. So. Yeah, so about 40 minutes. So I'll probably kill that there, because when people look at it and it's like 10 hours long, you don't want to watch 10 hours of setting things on fire, do you? Probably not. Okay, so that's my least successful live sad artist, live anyway. But hopefully it's got some rewatch value, so you guys can watch that back. And it's going to be, I won't say it's fun, but get out there, get creative, do something creative, God knows what, and talk to me in the comments box, and go to my website, which I'm sure that I put a link to somewhere. I should have done. markedmondsart.com. That's Edmonds with an O, like Noel Edmonds, but way better. And when you're on there, send me an email, and we'll set something up. I'm sure we can do this on YouTube somehow. But yeah, anyway. So I want to see what people are making at home. Basically, what are you doing creatively and art-wise? See you later.